Power source. Don't even worry about it. How you doing? Welcome on in. Self-injury can indicate a number of different things. Someone who's hurting themselves may be at risk for suicide. Others engage in patterns of self-injury over weeks, months, or years and are not necessarily suicidal. The advice in this section can only be of use to you if the person is suicidal. If the person is assisting if the person you are assisting is injuring themselves but is not suicidal, please refer to first aid for non-suicidal self-injury. So where is that one? Non-suicidal. No problem, Opti. Alright. This first aid advice applies only to a person who is injuring themselves for reasons other than suicide. It is relatively common in young adults. A survey of college students found that 15.3% engaged in some sort of non-suicidal self-injury at some point in their lives. I would be in that percent. Another study of college students demonstrated that 11.7% reported in non-suicidal self-injury at least one time. That is also me. No significant differences in rates of non-suicidal injury were found between males and females in these age groups. So we did talk about this already. Okay. How should you talk to someone who is deliberately injuring themselves? If you suspect that someone you care about is deliberately self-injuring, you need to discuss it. If you notice suspicious injuries on the person's body, don't ignore it. Let the person know that you've noticed. Avoid expressing a strong negative reaction. Discuss it calmly. It is important that you reflect on your own state of mind and are prepared to non-judgmentally deal with the answers. Hi there, Celtic Wolf. How you doing? Understand that self-injury is a coping mechanism, and therefore stopping self-injury should not be the focus of the conversation. Instead, look at ways to relieve the distress. Do not trivialize the feelings or situations that have led to the self-injury. Do not punish a person, especially by threatening to withdraw any care. What should I do if I witness someone deliberately self-injuring? If you have interrupted someone in the act, intervene in a supportive and non-judgmental way. Remain calm and avoid expressions of shock or anger. Express your concern for their well-being. Ask whether you could do anything to relieve the distress. Ask if medical attention is needed. If a person has overdosed on medication or consumed poison, call 911 immediately. Regardless of the person's intentions, emergency medical help must be sought. Emergency services should also be called if someone is confused, disoriented, unconscious, or has bleeding that is rapid or pulsing. Life-threatening injuries require medical attention. Encourage the person to seek professional help. Self-injury is not an illness but a symptom of mental illness or a serious psychological distress that needs treatment. Ensure the person knows where to obtain professional mental health care, but don't force the issue. Further information about encouraging a person to seek professional treatment can be found in other guidelines in this book, and it also depends on where you're located. Encourage a person to speak to someone they trust the next time they feel the urge to self-injure. Also, ensure first aid supplies are accessible to this person if they do fall back and self-injure. Also, give them different ways to cope. So, usually, someone will cut or punish themselves because they feel no control and they feel hopeless in a situation. And so being able to give them things to do where they do have control, such as exercising or going for a walk or taking that energy and that frustration and channeling it into productive means other than like boxing, other than lifting weights or running. You can also work on cleaning a house project together. And that could also be a reason for their distress if they feel like they are living in clutter or they're hoarding or they don't have the mental or physical capacity to change that sort of situation. Offering help to be able to say, hey, let's work on this project together. I know this has been really stressful for you, or I know that final exams are coming up and you just feel overwhelmed with how to study. Let's work on that together. Those kind of things are really important. So, I've said this a few times, so you might be wondering what the tips for non-judgmental listening are.